Hey class. So in these next couple of videos, I'd like to share with you some additional 3D modeling techniques and methods in Rhino that will allow us to learn new 3D modeling concepts as well as spatial relationships and eventually more model making and graphical representation. Okay, so starting from where we left off with our last project, we're working with aggregates, and in this case, contrast will work with subtractive operations. So in the past, we had a number of we'll call them base volumes, units, and we were piling them and adding them and merging them to achieve new forms. In this exercise, we'll work a bit differently with the subtractive operations, and we'll learn some actions which I'm deriving them from the spatial verbs, more like borrowing them from the spatial verbs found within the operative design catalog by Anthony DiMari and Nora Ju. A super awesome little book that if you ever run into it, I highly suggest that you buy it for your collection. But within it, we learn a number of, again, spatial verbs that again allow us to edit geometry. And it's a very dense book. There's a lot of stuff in it, a lot of actions, a lot of verbs, and a lot of inspiration, quite frankly, with you. It's sort of, well, what its title says right here, a catalog. So you find yourself in a need for form or formal variety, and this is a great book. So we're not gonna go through it entirely, and as a matter of fact, really just borrowing the concepts, but most of it will come from this lecture right here. But I think it was page 30. We are gonna be using some of this subtractive operations, which we can find right here for this exercise. And what those are the following. So again, shear, notch, taper, pinch, inscribe, and carve. So I'll work with those 6. I'm going to show you how we can achieve such actions in Rhino with some basic simple geometry. And I'll take you through them and hopefully maybe expand it a little bit more and see how we can push this further by creating some combinations down the road. So let's go ahead and start by opening up Rhino, bringing up a new file. So I've just done that. I'm waiting for it to open. The first thing, as usual, we'll go ahead and set up our units. We can go to new, large object, inches, feet inches. And we're going to start with a couple of setups right here. Okay, very simple. So the first thing that I'd like for you guys to do is create some solids, right? So we'll come to the box over here, and we're going to draw a, right? So we'll pick a corner, and then we'll do an at 4 inches, 4 inches, enter. That's going to give us the footprint, and then I'll go right here into the front view and type 4 inches, and that's going to give us a cube, a box. And I'm going to go ahead, have your grid snap on for right now. That's going to be helpful. I'm going to send this guy further back. I'm going to create a new one, a new box right here, but wrong screen. It's going to be So we're gonna go 4 units across and 2 down for our footprint and 2 units up. And what I'm talking about referring to for those units, it's your grid count right here. So notice that this is a 4" by 4". And right, the one on the bottom right here, this is now a 4" by 2 inches, right? Which is 1 right here and 2 right here. And the height, notice that also changes. So in this case right here, it's 4 inches. In this case over here, it's 2 inches. Right, so we have a 4" cube, and right next to it, we have a 4 by 2 by 2 prism. Okay, and then lastly, we're going to do 4 units, 1 unit, and 1 unit high. Okay, so we have this array of forms, simple cubes. Okay, I'm going to move on to my layer 3. I guess we can, call this right here action areas. Make it active, and we're going to define. I'm going to type rectangle. I'm going to start right there in the corner, and we're going to do a 12" by 12". Oops! Don't forget to put the @ sign. 12", comma 12". We're going to define that right there. So again, kind of like creating this template. I'm going to type copy. I'm going to select this object right here. I'm going to go to my top view, and I'm going to copy it 4 units down. I'm going to type copy one more time, select the object, snap to that endpoint, paste it to this endpoint right here, copy these 3 right here. From there, we're going to leave 4 units in between them. Okay, so we have something like this. And then we're going to bring in some text. You type, but before that, let's go ahead and get yourself on a different layer. Call this right here titles. Make it active. And type text. We have this panel right here. The first one that we're gonna be doing is shear. And here I'm gonna put this on my next screen. So shear. You press Control Enter, brings in the text. It's really big, so we can actually scale this down from there to there. We can make it 2 inches, and that should be good. Yeah, maybe not that small. Let's see, I'm gonna move it right here from that end. If it wants to snap, there you go. We'll move it right there, and we'll bring it 2 times larger. So the text size that you want is I guess 0.009 if you want to have things looking more like on my screen. And we're gonna copy this in all of these drawing areas right here, and we're gonna label them as follows. So that's shear. Here we have notch. Here we have taper. Next we have pinch. Next we have inscribe. And last we have carve. Okay, and we'll go sort of this order. I'll go right here. to bring this shaded, and that brings us to our file setup, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So we can start with our first action, and our first action. So if I type copy here, enter, bring, I'm sorry, let's bring this one right here, and let's label them here, right? So we'll call these base volumes. And I'll bring this right here. I'm gonna put some labels over here. Let's go ahead and change that text size. Let's go ahead and bring that 0.003, maybe 5. Let's see how that works. And then let's go ahead and edit this. That'll be our 116 base volume. This is going to be our 1/4 base volume, and this is going to be our 1/1 base volume. And those numbers, fractions, they right now they don't necessarily mean a lot for us. Maybe down the road, but it's quite simple. It just means that this guy right here on the right, this is the full, right, 1/1. This one is 1/4, so that means that this object right here on the left, it's 1/4 of this object right here on the right. So that means that we can fit 4 of them. We could, right, make 4 of them fit right here. Right, so that's where that 4 is coming from. Right, and as you can see right here, this guy right here, we can actually fit 16 of them. Right, we could actually do fit 16. Right, we actually split this right here in half and half. That's 4, and then we split this in half again. This in half again. That's 8, and we split that in half. That's 16. You extrude all of these to the end right here, and that's where we get 1/16. So this object right here, it's 1 out of the 16 that we have right here, right? In theory, 4 by 4, that would be your 16. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and type save. And I'll go ahead and save this. You can use the same name that I have on my screen, right? So Spring24, GFX2, Subtractive, Operations, and of course you don't need the rect. You can just put lecture there for you, since this is the file that you're using to follow along. I'll go ahead and save. And we have our file set up. Let's go ahead and start doing some operations. So go ahead and save your file and come back. Go ahead and create a new recording.